So you're thinking about sending in your precious comic books to get defaced by the comic artist legend Todd McFarlane. Well, not before you see this video. What is up, guys? Welcome to the Paper Chase channel. I know it's been a while. Lacking motivation lately for this stuff. Well, for YouTube videos. And it has nothing to do with algorithm or has nothing to do with anything. It just takes a lot of time and effort to create these videos, and just I've been focusing on other stuff lately. But I thought this one I could maybe kind of do quick and could also be useful. And it's a topic I like: signings by Todd McFarlane, one of my favorite artists. So in this video, what I'm going to do is give you a good bit of information, a few tips and tricks if you're about to send your books in, maybe things that will help you from making a mistake or things that might even enhance your comic book signature results. And not only that, I'm going to list off maybe some copies of some books that nobody's thinking of or nobody's thinking about getting signed. But before we do that, the age-old request: like, comment, subscribe. This is going to be a very huge event, and I feel like there's this thing in the air that's everybody kind of feels like he's not going to do many more of these. He also made the statement in the video for the signing that he was going to give everybody a full Todd signature. If you've ever done a Todd signing in the past, that's one of the things. If you send in multiple books, will you or won't you get a full Todd signature? I think last time I sent in 5 or 6, maybe a little bit more, and I got 1 out of 6. So this time he's giving everybody a full Todd signature. Everybody loves the full Todd. He's got one of the greatest signatures in the game, for sure. Another thing that I've been watching a lot lately is, I've been looking at some of the market value stuff with his signatures. And once his signature hits a book, it, for some reason, goes up in value a lot. Even though these signings are open to the public. You don't need a CGC account to get these things signed by him. Most of the books that I've gotten signed by him I still own. Now, not only am I going to share with you the books I'm sending in, some creative books that you yourself can send in, but I'm going to show you how to make your own personalized signing bag to send to Todd that is safe, effective, and can get your signature, well, wherever you want it. So we'll do that towards the end of the video. First, tip number 1 on sending these books in is you got to be quick, because he did say that these are going to be limited as to how many signatures he's going to get. So I'm guessing the ones that get there first are going to be the ones that they select for him to get signed. So very, very important to get them there as quick as you can. Now, with that means that your books are going to sit for a while. Check out this video here that I did. What I kind of focus on in this video here is not necessarily how you press the book, but what happens after you press the book. Because when these books sit at CGC, lots of things can happen. A lot of reversion can happen. And that's kind of what this video is about. So check that out. All right, tip number 2 is don't forget the coupon. Jesus. This could be bad. The coupon, when you create your account, they're going to give you a little coupon that you're going to cut out, and you're going to put it in the back of your bag and board here. And if they don't have that coupon, they're not going to know where your book goes. It slows down the entire process. And if they do find out who it goes eventually, who knows what kind of handling your book has to go through for them to figure out that it's yours. So you're just putting your book at more risk for getting damaged. So do not forget the coupon in the back of every single book you're going to get signed by him. That's tip number 2. Tip number 3 is get creative. Now, we're going to stay on this tip for a little while, because get creative can mean multiple things. It can mean the types of books that you're going to choose to send in. So I've got a list here of books that I scrolled across, came across, did some research on, and these are books that are not well known, and I think the census count for these books graded with a Todd signature on it are going to be pretty low. A couple of these I might have already bought myself and plan on sending in. A couple of these I've already have signed. So consider this list here when choosing maybe what to send in to get signed by Todd. Number 1, Comic Scene Spectacular number 2. You've got a Todd Batman and a Todd Spider-Man on the same cover. And there's not very many of these out there on eBay. I bought the last high grade one. I'm just going to be honest. I think I bought the last high grade one. I don't know. I bought it before I released this video because, not trying to compete against myself here. So, Comics Scene Spectacular number 2, an incredible Todd cover that I don't see many signed by. I really don't even see many graded by. Now, a lot of people know he did this book, but I like getting signatures on books of characters that Todd does not normally do. So Todd doing G.I. Joe, I think, is a very unique thing. You've got the gold, trade dress on there with a gold label. You get him to slap a gold signature on that. That thing is going to look amazing. And, this one's probably of the more common ones that I'm about to mention, but I think it's on the unique enough path to where it could be considered sending in. All right, next one, not a key issue, not even a very notable cover, but look at the canvas on Spawn 318, the giant moon. I'm a moon cover sucker. It's really becoming one of my favorite things. Covers with moons on them, are incredible. So he's got all this room to put a beautiful in black marker, full Todd signature, would look incredible. Not many people are going to have that. All right, don't forget, you've got Todd art on foreign comic books. Now this one is Ohamem Aranya 105. I almost butchered that. I actually took 5 times to say that, but you heard the best take. So this one right here, this is an incredible Todd black suit cover. Again, off the beaten path, extremely detailed. Now this one I would for sure go with a white signature on it, so that way it pops and, it kind of stands out. But the fact that, it's just a unique cover that there's not many out there, I think would be very cool to have signed by Todd. This one I have in high grade newsstand. I might send it in. This is Spawn number 30. I guess this might be a controversial cover. I mean, it's a hanging cover. So it's, it's pretty crazy and has a lot of room for a Todd signature on there. Imagine if he did it in that baby blue that matched the trade dress. That'd be kind of cool. How about this? In a nice, beautiful white or yellow ink right in the center there. Spawn movie number 1. This is, if you can find a 9.8 and get that signed with a full Todd signature right in the middle between his fists there, that would look insane. That would look incredible. All right, I'm going to give you one that I've already done. I've already got signed. This is Spawn 100. And the reason why I have this signed in a 9.8, signed by Todd, and then also send it in and get it signed by Alex Ross. So that is actually one that I do have signed by Todd and Alex Ross in a 9.8. Beautiful cover. And he even made a mention during his last signing that he came across a Spawn 100 and he said, see, this is stuff that you want to do. He's like, you want to try to choose some creative books that people aren't really thinking about. And it just kind of makes it more fun and more unique and more personable to your collection. I don't know if that was my Spawn 100 that he pointed out or not, but, he kind of recognizes that. And I think you might catch him off guard and surprise him when you pull out some of these cool books that, maybe he doesn't see it come across his desk all that often. All right, this one here, this is an amazing Spawn cover. This is Image United number 1. I just think in red across his chest, I think that would look insanely cool. And the final one I'll throw out there that might be kind of a cool one to get signed. How about Amazing Heroes Interviews, issue number 2? Look at that. I gotta just send it in. Maybe I just gotta send it in. Look at that. Todd in red. He's gonna probably laugh when he sees this book here. And I guarantee you, for some reason, this comic community has this craze with like photo variant or, movie shot covers that have gone up in value on these low print run stuff. Well, something like this, I mean, who knows? I just feel like this is, once it's done and signed, people are going to be like, oh, that's so cool. So that's the last one. Now, I'm going to show you the books that I'm sending in to get signed. I don't have all of these. Like I said, I ordered a couple, but I got a few with me right here that I'm going to share with you that I'm going to get signed by him. And then we will jump into how to make your own personalized comic signing bag. It is safe. It is easy. It's going to make your book look better because you take a part in the creativity of, where the signing is. We'll get to that in a second, but let's jump into what I'm going to send. So I'm going to send this one, a very recent book, Spawn 356, just because a white signature on this would pop like crazy. It would look incredible. Plus, I would like a double signature with him and Mark Spears. I'm going to send in this Marvel Tales 233. I think this with the yellow label, and again, Todd drawing the X-Men, not something that you see too much. He does have a nice run of X-Men that he drew in this Marvel Tales run. Next up, New Mutants 87. So this is pencils by Rob, and Todd did the inks on this. I'm pretty sure. I don't think it's reversed. I'm pretty sure Todd did the inks, Rob did the pencils on this. So I'm going to get him to sign this, then I'm going to have CGC keep it there, and I'm going to get Rob Liefeld to sign it as well. And those two on this book, I think would be pretty epic. And, you know, I got to go with some classic stuff. Hulk 340. This, oh man, this thing, the colors on this are amazing. You know, it's going to present beautifully. There's one small crease in the back. It's probably going to come back at 9.4. But that's okay. I think the look of this book, how good this cover looks, with his signature, I think is going to be worth it for me anyway. And then last but not least, I had one of these signed by him in a 9.6. I sold it because this one I think has the potential for a 9.8. I'm sending in Batman, of course, 423, my favorite cover of all time. Again, love moon covers. Bats and moons, amazing. Bats and moons and capes, can't beat it. The only thing that can beat bats and moons and capes is bats and moons and trees in haunted houses. Best cover ever. It's amazing how much the original art sale for that comic cover is really just lighting a fire underneath that. And it's amazing what the value of that book goes up to. Now, I will not sell that. You know, once it's signed, and if it's a 9.8, whatever the grade is on it, signed by Todd, again, especially with the full Todd signature, I will not sell that book unless I really have to. Okay, now let's get to the personalized signing bag. So I'm going to switch to an overhead shot to let you see how I do it and the tips and tricks that I have for you if you want to create your own personalized comic signing bag. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to put the comic in the bag exactly how it's going to be whenever you seal it up, all right? This is important because, you know, you don't want to half-ass do it or anything like that, because how this is going to be is where exactly the signature is going to be. So put it in like you would if you're going to seal it up, and then you're going to mark where you want your signature. So on this one here, I do plan on getting Mark Spears to sign it at some point in the future. So I'm going to leave this open for him down here, and I'm going to mark on here where I want Todd to sign it, and I'm going to go right here. So that's the placement for that signature. And so now you take the comic out of the bag. I'm going to flip this over to this side just while I cut out my window here. So you're going to get your blade, and this is, I feel like I'm just kind of telling you what you already know where this is going. Actually, I just decided to cut a rectangle. Just make it simple. And then after that, you're going to take your painter's tape, and you're going to line it around the border where you're going to get the book signed. All right, so once you got your window outlined with the painter's tape, I'm going to flip this back over to the shiny side because that's where the book's going to go. No, I'm not. So if this happens, we'll put a new backer board in there. After I do that, I'm just writing the request on the color. Some arrows. Obviously, he's going to get the point. And then always put a thank you at the bottom. Careful whenever you're coming back down because it's going to want to catch, like I said. And then check and see how it matches up. Looks pretty good to me. And then you're going to take your painter's tape. And we're not done yet. We got one more step. You're going to seal up the back of it. Now, the final step is you need to create... you don't want this to just stay open and exposed like that. So you got to create a flap for this. So for the flap, I'm going to cut a bit of this top part off here. It does not really have to be too perfect. I just want to get rid of that top flap there, and that's good enough. So all you want is basically the open bag without the flap on it. And you're going to create just like a little hinge at the top there. And that's it. They can lift it up like that. Fold it back down like that. If you want, you can even create like a little pull tab with another piece of tape just so it kind of sticks to the bottom. Right, lift on there so they know. Makes it super easy. Flip it back. Good to go. So that's how I do my personalized window bags. So this is me just being super, meticulous about my stuff and of where I would like the signature. Though if I were to leave it up to him, I'm sure he would make a very good decision on where the signature placement should be. He is very keen to the art and the placement, not messing up the artwork, So he's great. But if you really want to have part of the creativity, the 5 or 10% of the appearance of this book, once it's signed, you can do that by the signature placement and maybe even requesting for a color or something like that. I gave you some tips and tricks. I showed you some books that maybe you weren't thinking of. I showed you the books that I'm sending, and I even showed you how to make a personal comic signing bag for your book. Again, guys, I appreciate you watching. I did recently just hit 7,000 subscribers on here, and I really appreciate that. I really do. Every one of you, even the ones the negative comments and everything. It's all good. It's all great. And I'm going to make these whenever I can. Even the other channel that I did, that I haven't done anything on that, and that is a movie review channel, a comic review channel, and I've read comics and I've seen movies since I made that channel. Again, it's just setting up this camera and doing all this is just, it just takes a lot, and when you have a family and a business and other stuff, it takes some time. So, I appreciate you watching when I do these, and like, comment, sub up. See you on the next page.